with U.S. officials. Lawmakers in the House are expected to vote this week on overriding 2 of President Trump's vetoes. Deaths of on-duty U.S. law enforcement officers fell by almost 25% last year, that according to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund. On Wall Street, ahead of this morning's opening bell, Dow futures are down 44 points, Nasdaq futures 50 points higher. More details at srnews.com.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. This time of year is decision time for a lot of people, but it's also when you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For many families, joining MediShare means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people. More than 1 million people are now part of healthcare sharing because it just makes so much sense, especially right now. And MediShare is the gold standard. Members like it a lot. We know this from member surveys. MediShare has been around for over 30 years. It is a proven thing. And if you join before January 15th and you mention the promo code SHARE, they'll waive your application fee. So you save $100 right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is January 15th. So call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number. Call 844-45-BIBLE. That's 844-45-BIBLE. 844-45-BIBLE.
Convenience just got an upgrade. Farmers State Bank of Oakley is excited to announce the opening of our brand new ATM along Highway 40, right next to Sonic Drive-In. Whether you're grabbing a snack or on the go, you can quickly access your cash without the detour. It's banking made easy, right where you need it. Farmers State Bank of Oakley, member FDIC.
With NWKS Radio News, I'm Connor Schuh. Yesterday, the Goodland Police Department released a press release regarding a stabbing in Goodland on January 3rd that laid out details of what they know as of now. Goodland PD received a 911 call at 9:49 p.m. on the 3rd, reporting the stabbing incident related to a domestic altercation on West 14th. The suspect then fled the scene on foot following the officer's arrival. The stab victim was immediately transported by emergency medical personnel to a local hospital for treatment and was later airlifted to a higher-level care facility. As of this recording, the victim is said to be in stable condition. Goodland PD eventually were able to track down a suspect, and they took them to custody without incident. That suspect is facing multiple felony charges, and the investigation is still ongoing. For these and other stories, go to nwksradio.net.
Today and tomorrow will continue to be warmer than normal with highs in the low 60s this afternoon, middle 60s tomorrow afternoon under mostly sunny skies. That'll be ahead of a potential winter storm Thursday and Friday. Westerly winds this afternoon will be a bit breezy at 10 to 20, gusting 25 miles per hour. Lighter tomorrow at 5 to 15 miles per hour and more variable in direction. Tonight's lows will be 25 to 30, then warmer tomorrow night with increasing clouds in the 30s and above freezing. And then Thursday we transition to colder temperatures. There's some rain and snow chances possible in the morning. Afternoon will be cloudy with highs 40 to 45. Thursday night, cold air moves in. Precipitation changes to all snow, drops into the 20s. Winds turn to the north at 20 to 30 miles per hour. Gusted 40 to 50 Friday morning with 2 to 3 inches of blowing snow and near blizzard conditions possible. This meteorologist Chris Romick and the NWKS Radio Weather Center.
At Ray Community District Hospital and Clinic, they believe in promoting healthier living through compassionate quality care. From state-of-the-art maternity care to life-saving emergency services, their dedicated team is there for you and your family. Whether it's managing diabetes, navigating recovery, or receiving specialized treatments, they're committed to your well-being. Discover the difference a community-focused hospital can make. Visit rayhospital.org today to learn more. Ray Community District Hospital and Clinic. Your health, our priority.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
I'm not bluffing. The Bluff has great fresh cut steaks. I mean, awesome, tenderful, flavorful steaks, plus other favorites like maybe chicken fry, hamburgers, and more. They have noon and evening specials, very affordable, at The Bluff Restaurant and Bar, across from the Sale Barn in Oakley.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland and let's get you covered. The Insurance Agency. Insurance the way it should be.
Need a porta potty or septic pumping in Northwest Kansas? Call Topside Portables and Pumping, your local family-owned crew. They've got clean, reliable toilets for weddings, farms, and job sites, plus full septic services, RV waste, fertilizer tanks, and more. Available 24/7, because when nature calls, they answer. Call 785-728-8089. That's 728-8089. Topside Portables and Pumping. Reliable, local, clean.
Are pests making your home or business uncomfortable? Call Pest Away in Goodland, Kansas, serving all of Northwest Kansas. They provide top-notch pest control services to keep your space safe and pest-free. From ants to rodents, termites to spiders, our expert team is here to help with effective, safe, and affordable pest control solutions. Don't wait. Call Pest Away today at 785-728-7166 for fast, reliable service. Your home or business deserves the best protection.
Winter's here and it's time to keep the cold out. Upgrade your home with new doors and windows from Colby Glass Company. Enjoy cozy warmth, reduced energy bills, and a stunning look. Visit Colby Glass Company today for a free consultation. Make this winter your coziest yet.
You ready? One, two, three, four!
It's time for the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
If you want to win in football, it all starts up front. Mass kicks ass.
And Connor Schuh.
He's the new guy.
The High Plains only local sports talk show. Broadcasting live on Goodland's Rocket 102.5 and video streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
They're basically idiots.
Covering it all from the preps.
Up ahead to Blair Lennon. Lennon, the crossover back to Cure. Hello, boom! A two-handed tomahawk flush.
To the pros.
Shotgun snap to Nix. Protection is good. Ball loads it up. He's got it. A receiver there. Franklin makes the catch in the end zone. Touchdown, Denver.
The Blitz is presented by Pearl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank. Along with
Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell, the Insurance Agency, Pest Away LLC, Topside Portables and Pumping, and the Farmer State Bank in Oakley.
Let's go to work.
Kicking out Davis, right side Francis into the corner. Buchanan dribble, drive on the baseline, and a two-hand slam. And Rutgers back in front by three, 85-82.
Playing catch with it on the perimeter. Now Frager. Jump stop, drives it, puts it up and in! Holy cow! Frager scores it, and Nebraska's up by 7 points with 2 minutes and 18 seconds left to go.
Rittenhouse takes 3rd and 9. He fires over the middle, caught by Lord, shuffles inside the 15, spins at the 10, on his feet at the 5, and he's in for the touchdown. Snap, pulled, the kick is pure. Montana State rushes the field. At long last, the Bobcats are national champions again.
Good Tuesday morning. Back on the Morning Blitz on Goodland's Rocket 102.5, NWKSradio.net. The streaming is back up after a couple-day hiatus. And, of course, the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream. We're always there on that. Make sure you check us out there on YouTube, Facebook, and Connor Schuh, Ross Volkmer. Oh, my goodness, what is going on here? Got to get my fat hand out of the way. My producing skills have not gotten any better in the last 24 hours, Connor, apparently.
It happens.
Anyway, glad to be back with you here on this Tuesday. Going to be a nice, clear start to the day, 32 degrees. High is going to be in the upper 50s, low 60s. Today, tomorrow, Thursday, we begin a little bit of a cool down, though. I actually may start a little bit tomorrow. A little bit of a cool down tomorrow. And then the white stuff, possibly the white stuff. Connor Schuh's favorite could be coming and visiting us on night into Friday. So he's got to be excited about that. Nonetheless, we got a full show ahead for you today. We will have a recap of the picks of the weekend. I was feeling really good about one of my picks late last night. It did not come to fruition.
I think I know which one.
You know which one. We'll get to it in just a matter of seconds. Picks of the weekend coming up, a recap of that. Lincoln Cure, former Goodland Cowboy, now K-State football, tight end, wide receiver, will join me in studio. We will talk with him about his experience, year number 1 there with the Kansas State Wildcat football program and all the news surrounding the changing of the coaches and what that has been like. A lot to get to with Lincoln Cure coming up here in about 15 minutes or so. So you want to hang around and listen to that. And we'll talk some high school hoops, a couple of big games tonight, particularly one down in Holcomb as the Goodland Cowboys and Cowgirls take on Holcomb. It is a matchup, at least at this point in time, at least if you look at the if the GWAC standings, the 2 top teams in the league facing off tonight down in Holcomb. We'll get to that. Colby will visit Hoxie, which I'm excited for Connor to get to experience the Hoxie gym. That's what I'm excited for him.
Is it pretty special? Or?
Oh, it's a bandbox. It's not real big. And if you're in the spot where I think you're going to be, which is on the floor in a little spot where you broadcast from, it's because there's a spot up in the rafters, but then there's a spot down on the floor, and usually you get to be on the floor. And so you're right in the middle of the action between the 2 benches. You're between the 2 benches in the middle of the floor in a small gym. When it gets packed, it gets crazy. I love that. It's like
Sounds
my favorite place to be. Love that. So you'll get to experience that tonight with Colby visiting Hoxie and some other games tonight as well in high school hoops. We'll touch on those. We'll touch on the Blitz Bowl as Nebraska takes down Ohio State. Barely, but hey, a win is a win, particularly on the road. We'll get to that in just a minute as well. But I got to start off talking about what was just an absolutely epic, and I do mean epic, FCS National Championship game. Did you happen to watch any of this last night?
Yeah, I watched most of it, but I was most locked in for the 4th quarter when Illinois State actually managed to come back, and it felt like they were going to win for a while. But the missed kicks, well, they weren't even the kicker's fault. I mean, he got 2 kicks blocked. One of them, I think, that would have put him up 35-28, and the other one, that one would have. Hold on. Let's go back here for a second. Were you watching at that point?
Oh, yes. Oh, I was watching it. I pretty much turned it on as soon as the Husker game got off because I wanted to see it. And I was watching this game, and my initial thought, I don't know about you, but when I initially started watching it, I was like, Illinois State does not have a defense, because I watched Montana State on 2 consecutive possessions just run through them like a hot knife through butter. I mean, and it was just throwing the ball, running the football. Illinois State's defense was non-existent. It was unbelievable. They were just getting torched the entire first. Once again, I didn't see I would say late first quarter, rest of the second quarter on, I watched. And so from that, when I first started watching, I mean, they were just getting torched. Montana State was going down the field. There were 3rd downs and stuff, and Illinois State was giving up these long 3rd down conversions. I was like, oh my gosh, Illinois State is going to get spanked because their defense can't get a stop. And they got down by 2 scores, but Illinois State's offense came charging back. And then they went into halftime, Illinois State, and they made the decision like, well, if we're going to get burned, we might as well try our darndest to make him uncomfortable. So they pretty much said every time we get into 2nd and 3rd and long, we're going to bring the house defensively. And guess what? It worked. You're exactly right. It worked. And here came Illinois State and that offense, which has been dynamic all postseason long with Rittenhouse, the quarterback. And they were able to get it, like you said, to a 28. Was it a 28 all game? What was it?
It was, 28-28. And then the blocked field goal.
The blocked field goal. They had it with under 2 minutes, with a minute to go. Yeah, like a minute 7 to go. They had the ball. They were driving down the field. They had it within your typical field goal range. It wasn't like it was like a 50-yard field goal, probably like a 35, 40-yard field goal is what they had. But as they kept saying on the telecast, like, this field goal operation has been a problem all season for Illinois State. And boy, they nailed that on the head, because that operation was very poor. Very poor. Because not only did they get an extra point blocked in the overtime, but they get that game-winning or possibly game-winning kick blocked with about a minute left to go. But I tell you, what a football game. Just entertainment purposes. How about the crowd? I mean,
they were great.
This was played in Nashville, which, by the way, is such two things. They've redone Vanderbilt's football stadium. They've redone it, and it looks super sweet. I mean, it's not real big, but it looks really nice because half of it is new. The end zones are new, and it has a big game feel. And the crowds that came and watched that game from Illinois State and Montana State were huge. They had like 14,000 people there. And if you were listening to the telecast, the crowds were super loud. How about Montana State? They couldn't figure out the side. They had to do the clap count, and they had 8 false starts. 8.
And then they had that one snap pretty late in the game when they were driving and they had a chance to win, and their center snaps it over their quarterback's head, and you're like, oh my goodness. Okay, so Illinois State's going to win.
This game was on drugs is the best way to put it. It was, they call it was a drunk game. It was, but it was so entertaining. And I honestly, when Montana State gets a touchdown overtime, they make the extra point to win it, 35-34. I mean, my heart went out to Illinois State. Yeah. Think about the run that they went on. They were like one of the last teams into the postseason. They knock off the number 1 seed, North Dakota State. They go on this amazing run. They face off against Montana State, who's been a consistently very good FCS program for many, many years now. And you pretty much could have won it if your field goal operation was worth a darn. But I'm telling you, I'm not, like you said, you can't blame the kicker. I think it was everybody. It was the snap. It was the hold. It was the kicker. It was just not a very good operation. Trust me, I have seen that a lot more than you would like to see over the course of time.
Well, I think the big problem was the left side blockers, because each time they got a block, someone from Montana State came off the left side, and it was always the guy farthest left, just came across the edge, almost totally unblocked. And the holds were good. The kicks were probably fine. I mean, we didn't really get a chance to even see if
how do we know?
Good, but nothing looked out of sorts except for just that left side just broke down each time. And oh man, I wonder if those kids are coming back next year and they're going to be on the kicking team. It's going to be a long off season for them, I think.
I don't know. I mean, just amazing. I mean, Tommy Rittenhouse, the quarterback for Illinois State, 33 of 46, 311, 4 touchdowns, no picks. He was amazing. Victor Dawson, their running back, ran for 126 on 29 carries. He's pretty much just a keep you honest type of guy. Their offense for Illinois State was great. It was a dynamic offense. And there were some exciting plays. I mean, the run by their Dylan Lord, by the way, if that guy's not playing Division I football next year, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know if he's a senior. But Dylan Lord, I think he's a sophomore. I think he's a freshman. Dylan Lord's a freshman. Yeah.
That dude's going to the league.
He's going to the big spot. He's going to the big spot now. But I mean, that performance from Dylan Lord was amazing to watch. Just super impressive. And he was fantastic. That one touchdown that tied the game up after they were down 2 scores. He had a great little weave play. I mean, there were great plays by Taco Dowler, great name by the way, and Dane Man of Steel for Montana State. The 2 wide receivers. Dane Steele had a great hurdle play before the half when they scored in the last minute to go up to, I think it was 2 scores there at halftime. I mean, just there it is, actually, right there in the Hurl Chevrolet Champs Division. There was the hurdle. It was great.
Incredible.
It was just so good. I don't know about you, but it made me feel happy. In an era where football is, especially college football, has kind of made me sick with the transfer portal and all that stuff, watching these guys who probably aren't getting paid more than pennies going out there and playing the game they love at a very high level, it made me happy. That was about as good a pure football at the collegiate level as you're going to find.
Yeah, it's a glimpse into, well, this is what college football always felt like before, I don't know, 2019, 2020, let's say. And it was just so cool to watch. I mean, you said it. It's guys who aren't getting paid that much to play this game with such a slim chance of going even D1 FBS or let alone to the NFL. Like, these guys are not getting scouted that heavily, but you can tell how hard they're all playing just because they love football. And I think that's what makes it so cool. These guys probably care about the money a little less than FBS guys, clearly, if they're playing at such a high level here at FCS. And especially for the Illinois State guys who probably, you could say, weren't supposed to be here, quote unquote, because I thought about it a little bit, and I think the equivalent of their run is like if a 11 seed in March Madness made it to the title game. a little bit different.
I think like even a 14 seed. I think they were the last team into the postseason.
They were down there. They were one of the last ones. But yeah, it's definitely, that was just an achievement on its own that they even made it. It's a shame that they lost, but hopefully this is a good sign for their program and they can kind of build off this and become, I don't know, maybe not a powerhouse, but a more respected FCS program, because all these
guys were overlooked. I think that's the biggest thing. You're talking about how, these guys they're playing because they were overlooked. They weren't tall enough. They weren't fast enough. They didn't have long enough arms. Didn't have big enough hands. Tommy Rittenhouse is 5'11" quarterback. Nobody really wants a 5'11" quarterback now at Division I football. But guess what? These guys put on a great product for the world to watch last night. Gosh, it was great.
They did.
Gosh, it was so good. 35-34, Montana State winning a national championship in football, surprisingly for the first time in 40-plus years. So congratulations to them. And boy, feel bad for Illinois State. I wanted them to win it. I have no problem with Montana State winning. I think it's great. But boy, Illinois State with the run they were on, would have loved to see them cap that. But gosh, that was an amazing showing. There you go. A fun FCS national championship game. The game before that the Blitz was interested in, Nebraska-Ohio State, was on prior to that. Boy, that was an interesting game, to say the very least. Nebraska pulls it out in the end, 72-69. How are you feeling throughout the course of the game?
It was pretty up and down. I mean, you saw the opening stretch where your Cornhuskers got out to a 9-1 lead. Then Ohio State kind of comes back into it, and it was a game of runs. Nebraska would make a 10-0 run, then Ohio State would come back into it, and then it would just kind of rock back and forth until the very end, where that's so. If you followed Ohio State basketball like I have so closely, which I don't think anyone listening or watching this has, you would know there's a trend in the past 5 or 6 years with our last two head coaches, first Chris Holtmann and now Jake Diebler. Late game adjustments have been such a problem, and we have dropped, I can't even count the amount of late game situations we've just totally squandered against mostly good teams. We could have beat North Carolina earlier this year. That Pitt game was a disaster. And now there's this because the end of the game was mismanaged. I mean, you saw it. We got the ball into the front court, down 3 with 3 seconds, and we had a timeout, and we didn't call it. And we got it to a guy who shoots 11% from 3 to take the potential game-tying shot, and he promptly hit all backboard. That frustrated me to no end. I couldn't believe it.
I love the quote from Fred Hoiberg. He said it many times in his tenure. He says, boys win at home. It's men that win on the road. And Nebraska get a road win. I don't care who it is. The Big Ten is very difficult to win on the road. Doesn't matter if you're playing in Piscataway or if you're playing at Purdue. It doesn't matter where you're playing. It's very difficult to win on the road. This Nebraska team, are they perfect? No. Nebraska does not have a high major athlete on the floor. They don't have an Amari Bynum, I would consider, who I think is a really fantastic athlete, which Nebraska recruited and would love to have had him. That size and athleticism. Nebraska didn't have that. They have a bunch of guys that they have your typical guys that go and play on a Sunday night at the gym, kind of your fun little rec league type team.
Yeah, these guys are still high major athletes, though. Just not as good as like.
But they're not your freaks like Cohen Carr at Michigan State, who can jump out of the gym. So they have to do everything right. Passing, shooting, fundamentals. That's what they have to do in order to win these games and play unbelievable defense, which they did at times in this game. Give credit to Ohio State, made some tough shots down the stretch. But it was the great balance in scoring. Braden Frager is a star in the making.
He won you guys that game.
He's a dude. He's probably the closest thing that Nebraska has to that type of dude player who can drive and can finish at the rim and also knock down outside jumpers. But this Nebraska team, 15-0, 10th ranked in the country. They're in the top 10 for the first time since 1966.
Wow.
It is amazing to watch what is going on. It's going to get even more difficult, no offense to Ohio State, on Saturday when they have to go to Assembly Hall and take on Indiana. I think that might be where this. You're not worried?
Indiana is, it's going to be close because Indiana's in a similar spot. They're also a bubble team, but they've had some real issues this year.
Yeah, but they also have a coach that knows Nebraska really well, and Coach Darren DeVries, and scouted for Nebraska many times. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know what to expect. This Nebraska continues to just impress me with, once again, winning the games, winning the ways they do without being the most physically gifted basketball team on the floor. Ohio State was more physically gifted than Nebraska, but Nebraska with the experience and just in the playmaking ability. And if you love just watching basketball at its purest form, it's what I've always said. It's the cutting, the moving without the basketball, the passing that gets you easier looks than just coming down the floor, dribbling for 10 seconds, and then jacking up a 3-ball. I mean, it's watching Nebraska is so much fun because they play the game I think it was designed to be played, and that's what makes it really unique and fun.
Yeah.
And they have to do that because if they don't, they're not going to win.
No, but they move the ball well. They play great defense. I mean, they kept Ohio State out of the middle of the floor, and we had to take threes or get deep into the paint to get any type of bucket, and did that a little bit. But, man, yeah, Nebraska, I mean, probably one of the, I don't know, maybe the third best team in the Big Ten at this point. I think you can say they've leapfrogged Michigan State, especially after the game before this one.
Yeah. What was the guy you called a cone? Was that Christopher Tilley?
Christoph Tilley.
You got Christoph Tilley a cone? He was pretty good for a big guy. I kind of like
Christoph Tilley. Ivan Yagovin. He did not play last night. He's kind of gotten phased out of the rotation because now we barely play our bench because all of them are incredibly passive. The Ohio State bench does not like to shoot, and it stagnates the offense. So you see all 5 of your starters out there, and they all get super gassed, as you saw towards the end of this game. But Tilley can move. I will give him that, but he's not a great defender.
Yeah, Nebraska did a great job on Bruce Thornton, too, by the way, defensively. First half, I think he had just 2 points.
He did.
So, Nebraska did great. They've been elite defensively, and they'll have to continue to do that if they're going to find ways to win. But Nebraska there with the win over Ohio State last night, 72-69. Ohio State 10-4, Nebraska 15-0, 4-0 in the Big Ten. I think for the first time ever since joining the Big Ten Conference. So very, very cool for sure to see that. As we continue here in the Morning Blitz, I want to quickly, before we get to break and bring on Lincoln Cure, I want to discuss, of course, high school basketball tonight. I mentioned off the jump, we were talking about Colby and Hoxie. Any quick thoughts on the Indians and the Eagles tonight? An old Northwest Kansas League matchup, no longer a league game, but Hoxie now part of the Mid-Continent League, and of course, Colby a part of the GWAC. But I'm excited. Once again, I'm excited. The biggest thing for me is getting to broadcast from that small gym and getting to be in between the benches and in the middle of the action. It's great.
Yeah, it should be fun. I mean, I like those intimate environments where you're right just on top of the action and you hear everything. So that's pretty cool. But looking at Hoxie, they have small teams, not in size, but in amount of players. Their boys team only has 9 kids.
Yeah. What the boys team? Yeah. Like I said, it happens when you get to these smaller schools and you have, and Hoxie, by the way, Hoxie wrestling is the creme de la creme of wrestling programs in the state. So you have a lot of guys that go out for wrestling.
Yeah.
So you don't have as big a Hoxie. I mean, probably around 10 years ago, maybe a little bit more, 12 years ago, Hoxie boys basketball was pretty darn good. They had some really good players, and they were at the state tournament competing, for third place and things like that. I covered that in my early days here in Northwest Kansas. And so they've had some good basketball programs, but wrestling has just become the powerhouse that it is right now, winning 5 consecutive state championships. And when that happens, people want to be a part of winning. And so you don't see as many guys on the basketball team. The boys game, I think Colby's probably going to take more than likely, no offense to Hoxie, but the girls game, I think, will be highly entertaining because
it'll be closer.
Hoxie girls are very good, very well coached, and also have a really good basketball program. They're really good on the girls' side. So
yeah.
It would not, and this is no offense, Colby, it would not surprise if we see Hoxie win that game. Hoxie is that good.
It could happen. Yeah.
So, really, really good. That's one of the games tonight. Also tonight, you've got Wallace County hosting Wheatland-Grinnell, Weskin hosting St. Francis, Golden Plains hosting Wichita County, Cheyenne at Juanita Palisade, Nebraska. Rollins County and Trigo will be competing at the Colby Event Center. That's where they're playing that game. Quinter hosts Hill City, Oakley at Decatur Community, and as I mentioned earlier, Goodland on the road at Holcomb, their first game of 2026. Goodland played 8 games before the holiday break, which was a ton of basketball, and had 7 games in 10 days to finish up the 2025 portion of the season. They're coming off both Goodland Cowboys and Cowgirls 1-2 performances at the Flurry on Flush Basketball, which was as Bill Berman put it very well, it's kind of like a mini state tournament with the amount of talented teams that were there. And so I'm fascinated to see how they look coming out of this break, because Holcomb, for example, got a little, and like Colby, got a warm-up game in on Saturday. They took on Garden City, both won close games. So now the question is, how rusty is Goodland from the holiday break? Are they rusty? That's a question I'm interested to see. And how much did these games against really good competition just a couple weeks ago before Christmas, how much did it allow the coaches to learn about their teams, make adjustments, and be ready here for now the slate of 4 consecutive league games before the Orange and Black Classic in a couple weeks? I'm very fascinated. It will be a very Holcomb is a very good basketball program, both boys and girls. I'd say if you were, putting odds on who would win the league titles at this point in time, you'd probably say Holcomb boys and girls, because they're off to 2-0 starts. And Chad Novak's a fantastic coach down there at Holcomb for the boys side, and the girls have extreme talent on their roster, the Galliard sisters. And you've seen both Holcomb teams already once. What were your takeaways from them?
They're really, really good. They're undefeated for a reason. Both teams play incredibly fast. So I think it's up to Goodland to match the pace in some way and try to slow them down if possible. But they both play very well in transition.
I would bet money that Holcomb girls are probably going to press Goodland, so Goodland better be ready to handle the press.
Yes.
So better be prepared for that. And Goodland has struggled with that at times, so hopefully that's something they've kind of got ironed out over the holiday break. That'd be handy, because Holcomb's going to press, and Goodland better be able to break that to get in their half-court set. I have a feeling that game will be very close. I just have a feeling that'll be a close game, down to the wire, kind of like the Colby-Holcomb game was there. I think it'll be close. Yeah. Boys game, it's all about the haymaker, baby. I've said it for many years now. The Holcomb haymaker. You do not want to come out of the gates and get get punched to the ground in the first quarter. You have to be able to hang in the first quarter with Holcomb. Otherwise, they come out and they from the tip, they come out and they throw a couple big haymakers, a couple big threes, get the crowd into it, a couple steals and layups, and all of a sudden you're down 10 and you don't know how to get out of it. So it's going to be a big, big thing tonight to get off to a fast start for Goodland Cowboy basketball. And then I think they'll hang around, because Goodland has proven no matter who they've played. Second ranked Silver Lake, a Bueller squad that was ranked in 4A. It doesn't matter who they've played. Goodland boys have hung around, and they're going to have to hang around, particularly in the first quarter, to try and get this one on the road, Holcomb, which has been a very difficult place for Goodland to win. They've only won there, I think, a couple times in the last 25, 30 attempts. So very difficult place to play for Goodland. But like I said, the big thing is, both teams, at least right now, it could change later today when the new rankings come out. Both teams are ranked in the top 10 in 3A. Holcomb is ranked 4th in both boys and girls. Goodland is ranked, I think, 6th or 8th in both their spots. That could change, though, because of what happened with the flurry on Flush. Goodland may not be ranked now, but Holcomb will be ranked. And both teams are unbeaten, though, boys and girls in Goodland and Holcomb at 2-0. And this will decide who's going to sit atop, at least for now, in the league standings. So big-time games tonight down in Holcomb. All right, let's take a break. We come back. Lincoln Cure set to join us in studio. Kansas State wide receiver and tight end. That's next on a Tuesday edition of the Morning Blitz.
Kick off 2026 ready for whatever winter brings. At Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby, they've got the gear to start the new year strong. Get organized with rugged storage totes. And when the snow starts falling, if it does, power through it with Ego and Craftsman snow blowers. Or if it's just the light stuff, blow it away with Ego leaf blowers. And don't forget ice melt to keep your sidewalk safe all season long. New year, winter ready. Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware in Goodland and Colby. Helpful folks, trusted brands, and everything you need to get it done.
The holiday season just got brighter at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. Wrap up the year with 0% for 36 months on all 2026 Chevrolet Trailblazer and Equinox models. Or slide into a new GMC, 1.9% for 36 months on a 26 Arcadia, plus up to $7,000 in rebates on a 26 GMC Sierra 1500 Elevation with Turbo Max with eligible trade-in. Big savings, big style, and big holiday cheer. Only at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Stop in today or visit online at hurlchev.com.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
This is Austin Wright, the Anderson Trade Group in your morning market update. It is January 6th. March corn, $4.44 1/4. May corn, $4.52. July corn, $4.58 1/4. March 26 KC wheat, $5.22. May 26 KC wheat, $5.33 1/2. July 26 KC wheat, 546 3/4. March 26 soybeans, 1066 1/2. May 26 soybeans, 1077 1/4. Dow Jones futures are currently down 46 points at 49,182. S&P 500 futures are currently down roughly 1 point at 6,943. NASDAQ futures are currently up 37 points at 25,615. Gold is currently up 27.50 at 4,479. Crude is currently up 41 cents at 58.73. For your grain marketing needs or more information on our Freedom Pricing tools, you can reach the Kansas City office, Jared Law, Tyler Grush, Tom Saludo at 913-748-3000.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
When the game is on the line, championship teams know the game plan. They communicate and work together to win. We all need a game plan to protect ourselves online. Talk to family and friends so they know how to stay safe too. Create strong passwords, turn on multi-factor authentication, update software, and recognize and report phishing, because online safety is not something you want to fumble. Get more game-winning tips at CISA.gov/secure our world. Then share them with family and friends.
Kansas Corn reminds you that E15 fuel is the right choice for every kind of driver. For the car enthusiast, E15 has higher octane. For the thrifty driver, E15 is priced lower than regular unleaded. For the nature lover, E15 provides cleaner air. For the shopper who buys local, E15 has more ethanol from our Kansas corn farms. Choose E15 for a higher octane, lower price, and cleaner American fuel. This message from the Kansas Corn Commission. Learn more at kscorn.com.
If you're buying or selling cattle, make your first stop livestockmarket.com. Bred cows, heifers, pairs, bulls and frozen genetics, even feeder calves. You'll find them all at livestockmarket.com. Livestock Market features private treaty sales, online auctions, and live production sale bidding. You'll also find horses, sheep, goats, and hay. Check out the free Livestock Market magazine wherever you pick up Tractor House and download the Livestock Market mobile app today.
At F&B Bank, we believe local businesses are the heart of our community. That's why we're more than just your bank. We're your neighbor, your customer, and your biggest supporter. From the corner cafe to the hardware store downtown, we're walking the same streets, shopping the same shops, and investing in the same future, yours. We're here, we're local, and we're always in your corner. F&B Bank, banking built on community, member FDIC.
Sports talk that's fast, fresh, and always on point.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
This is the Morning Blitz.
Back here on a Tuesday morning on the Morning Blitz, January the 6th, currently clear and 32 on our way to a high in the low 60s today. Well, I'm not 110% sure, but for those who don't know, there's a train track that runs right here north, and I don't know if Lincoln got caught by the train, but he has not made it into studio yet. So I'm sorry for all of our listeners that we're hoping to see Lincoln Cure. Hopefully he'll join us. If not, we'll get him on tomorrow. We will see, but I think he might be caught by the train. So
we'll stall for a little bit.
We'll be fine. We can fill the show. Let's just move things up. Let's get to our picks of the weekend. Let's get a recap here of our picks of the weekend. Why don't we, Connor Schuh? How did we turn out in? It says that we did a reset, and so how are we looking here on our picks of the weekend recap edition?
Well, for season number 2 of our picks,
season 2 of the picks,
we're starting out pretty close, I gotta say. So we'll go pick by pick here. So we'll start out with the Chiefs at the Raiders, almost a little bit of a tank bowl, you could call it, with the Chiefs looking for better draft position. They were favored by 5.5. I had the Raiders covering. They did. They won. You had the under as well. They only scored 26 total points, so that hit as well. 2 yeses to start. Great way to open this up. Okay. And Chargers at Broncos. I don't know why I chose the Chargers to cover, but the Broncos won by, I think, 16. They covered the 12.5. We both had the Chargers covering. They did not. And the Panthers at the Buccaneers, this one was for the NFC South, almost. Ended up hinging on that Falcons game the next day. But the Buccaneers win. I had them winning. You had Carolina winning. They did not. Then another one for a division. Seahawks at Niners. The Seahawks sealed that one. They got the win. We both had them winning, so we got that one right. Then finally, the third matchup to decide a division. Ravens favored by 3.5 at the Steelers. Again, I don't know where our heads were at with this one, but we both had the Ravens covering on the road in Pittsburgh, which now looking back, it's a bit of a daunting
I didn't trust Aaron Rodgers to get it done.
He barely did. That first half, he looked pretty rough, but they got the win, so Ravens did not cover. Arizona versus SMU in a bowl game. Can't remember which bowl game this was exactly, but it probably had some ridiculous name. Arizona did not cover, so I didn't get anything, and Arizona did not win. So you
wasn't that the Holiday Bowl though? Arizona? I think
you're right. That sounds right.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that's one of the better bowls still around.
I got to put some respect on the Holiday Bowl then.
Yeah,
that's on me. All right, Navy versus Cincinnati. Navy was favored by 7. I don't know what I was doing here, knowing that Brendan Sorsby was out and not playing.
That's what I said. You picked that.
I don't know. I was shrouded by. I think I've been looking at too much.
I'm telling you, all the math in that game. When you look like take away Sorsby, and you had to take on a Navy team that runs triple option that you never face, that is a recipe for disaster.
Yes.
What happened? Navy smashed them.
I got caught up in the P4 BS. So since he did not cover, and you got a point on that one, Navy did cover. Wake Forest versus Mississippi State. We both nailed this one. Both had Wake covering. They did handily because the SEC is horrible. You know what it is.
It just means more, baby.
Yeah, not this year. That's for sure. Illinois State versus Montana State, the exact game we were talking about earlier, and the one that you thought was good. You had Illinois State winning. They did not, just barely. And I had Illinois State covering. It was a 10-point spread, and they covered that handily, so I got something on that. And then, man, this one. USC at Michigan. Michigan was favored by 22.5 on the hardwood. We both had USC covering because, I mean, Michigan can't be that good, right? They beat them by 30. So
I am never, ever, whatever the spread is, I'm taking Michigan to cover it. They are the best basketball team in the nation, and there is not a question.
I agree. They're favored by 22.5 I think, at Penn State tonight. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, my gosh. I can't believe it's not 35.
Penn State's horrible. They might win by 40. So there you go. Wow. And USC might be bad too. They got beat up by Michigan State last night. So I don't know. Michigan State, as we were saying, at Nebraska, I predicted the upset. And, well, not really an upset anymore. Nebraska got the win. You had Michigan State winning. They did not.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas at UCF. We both missed this one. Darren Peterson disappeared in the second half, and UCF.
Literally.
Literally, yes. I don't think he scored. He only played like 2 minutes. And, yeah, we both had Kansas winning. I did not. And BYU at Kansas State. Finally, I got a little too hopeful about K-State, and they actually hung around, to their credit. It was only a 10-point game, but they did lose, and you had BYU winning. So once you add all that up, I went 6-7, and you went 5-8. So pretty close.
I could have gotten to say that Illinois State game. It was right there for the taking. Oh, I could have had that.
We could have tied.
So good. So
should have picked the cover.
So good. Oh, darn it. And it's okay that I don't. It's okay that I don't pick Nebraska. If this trend just continues where I don't pick them and they win, I'm a happy guy.
I feel like you picked them last week when we had them in the fold, and they obviously won.
Who were they playing then? Who would have New Hampshire or something? It was New Hampshire. Come on.
It was one of the bye games. So
I'm actually talking like the games that are actually up in the air.
Would you have, if we flash back to yesterday before the Ohio State game?
Okay.
Who would you have picked?
I probably would have taken Ohio State.
Really?
Yep, probably would.
Really?
I love Nebraska, but there is something about not having just a dude that can just go and get rebounds and get to the bucket and just that freak, like the Cohen Carr type. Just not having that guy worries the you-know-what out of me.
And to Ohio State's credit, they actually, I don't think they sold the shot out because it seats like 19,000 people.
Oh, it's not even close. They said there was 13,000 there, and there was a video I saw from a guy covering it for Nebraska. There wasn't even 13,000 there.
But it sounded good. And from the telecast, at least, it sounded like at least the people
I just
that were
love
there
how
were
they
loud.
do the arena shot, and they've got everything darked out except for the floor. So you really can't see what's in
That's
the
from
crowd.
someone who's been there many times. That's so true. And
We have no idea who's there.
because doing men's basketball games, they'd put us on a perch up top in the rafters, basically. And you would look around at the upper bowl, and it was sparse, man.
I can believe it. Yeah, but I don't know. It's like I said, like if Amari Bynum was on Nebraska's basketball team, I'd feel a lot better because that's a guy who I feel like can go get to the bucket, can get big rebounds, can be that guy. And
Yeah.
Nebraska
Thanks for passing him along.
I know Nebraska tried to get him, but apparently there wasn't enough NIL money there for him, or didn't like something they didn't see. So
I will say Ohio State doesn't dole out the money for basketball nearly as much as you would think.
I'm sure. Actually, I'm not surprised by that at all.
Because all of it goes into football, as most people know.
Yeah.
They don't fund a lot of their other programs too well.
And it shows.
Yes, it does. We were consistent. Ohio State is consistently middle of the pack, but haven't been great since I think it was 2020 where we were a 2 seed, or well, supposed to be a 2 seed. And then COVID happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were a 2 seed in 2021 too, but Oral Roberts got the win in the tournament that year.
Bronny to Braun to share some of that money.
I wish he could. I bet he's donating a little bit. I mean, that's like he always supports Ohio State, so I don't know.
Anyway, picks of the weekend. Once again, Connor taking the win in week number 1 of the new season, getting me by a game. Okay. Once again, we apologize for those who tuned in to watch Lincoln Cure. He has not made it in. We'll try and punt that for tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll try and get him on. He said he's around for, I think, the next 10 days or so. So we'll try to. We've got
plenty of time.
We'll try to get him on tomorrow. We'll see if he can. And if not, we'll try to get him on at some point in time here. But anyway, there you go. Picks of the weekend. A recap of the picks of the weekend with Connor Schuh taking the victory here in week number 1. How do you like my picks music? I really like it. It gives me a Vegas feel.
It sets a good scene for picks, specifically what we're doing here.
I love the picks music. So anyway, let's get to break. We come back. As you know, on this program, I love college football, but I absolutely hate this time of year. Hate it. And I will explain why next here on the Morning Blitz on a Tuesday.
New Year's, a time for new opportunities, new beginnings, and resolutions. At Colby Furniture, we are excited for all the new opportunities to serve our community in 2026. And we want to wish you a very happy new year.
The holiday season just got brighter at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. Wrap up the year with 0% for 36 months on all 2026 Chevrolet Trailblazer and Equinox models. Or slide into a new GMC, 1.9% for 36 months on a 26 Arcadia, plus up to $7,000 in rebates on a 26 GMC Sierra 1500 Elevation with Turbo Max with eligible trade-in. Big savings, big style, and big holiday cheer. Only at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Stop in today or visit online at hurlchev.com.
Hi, this is Amy Powell, COO of Goodland Regional Medical Center. I want to express my gratitude for choosing GRMC as your healthcare provider. Your health and well-being are our utmost priority, and we are committed to providing you with the best care possible. We look forward to a healthy future together.
Jason at Advanced Auto Body in Goodland has a knack for meeting people by accident. But that's okay, since he and the staff have more space to accommodate these friends. Make an appointment or get a quote today by calling 785-899-5555 or stop by just west of the Van Gogh in Goodland.
To get Santa through the snow, it's an Otter angle dozer blade made and shipped all over the country from Otter Incorporated, Clayton, Kansas, where owners Frank and since it's his brother Greg say thank you. You have it made with an Otter blade, otterdozer.com.
It's game time.
What time is it? Game time!
You're listening to the Morning Blitz.
We certainly can't forget that tonight in college basketball, Kansas is back on the hardwood. We talked about the disappearance, the Houdini act of Darren Peterson. But they are back on the floor tonight against TCU at Allen Fieldhouse tonight. 8 o'clock Central Time tip. You can listen to it on Flyover Country 97.9 or watch it on ESPN. We'll see how the Jayhawks bounce back against TCU. Kansas has dominated this series. I mean, winning 27 of 31 all time, but TCU once again will. What can I say? They'll provide a game because once again, this is a battle of two middle of the road Big 12 programs.
At this point, it really is. You know what I'm really following? Miami of Ohio. They're undefeated as well. So.
Miami of Ohio. That's right. 15-0. How far is that from where you're from?
About 4 hours.
4 hours.
I've been to the campus before. It's a fun place.
The Red Hawks. But TCU, by the way, 11-3. I actually have a better record than Kansas, but not ranked. This TCU.
Kansas shouldn't be ranked.
They are led by a young man, by a great name by the name of David Punch.
Nice
name for TCU to watch for him. So that is tonight. By the way, Kansas 6.5-point favorites at home currently. Spread. So
makes sense.
Flyover Country 97.9. Listen to that tonight. Also, speaking of Kansas, two quick things here. Kansas football. I forgot to talk about this on Monday. Just didn't have enough time, but. Kansas football bringing back a familiar face to the coaching staff. Andy Koltanecki coming back to Lawrence after a couple of years stint at Penn State, where he was the offensive coordinator. And I don't know. I feel like it was almost a bad fit. I feel like Andy Koltanecki needs a mobile quarterback to be successful. And
I saw it
is not a mobile guy.
Well, he could move a little bit more than people gave him credit for. He wasn't a total cone, I guess you could say. But
I love your words.
The thing about Koltanecki, getting to watch a lot of Penn State and seeing it in person once, he always did this thing where he would send a lineman in motion. He'd bring like a sixth offensive lineman out, and he would just have him like zigzagging around the formation, use him as a blocker, and it worked maybe 5% of the time. It was pretty bad.
Well, when he was at Kansas, when Leipold brought him over from Buffalo, I mean, they had really prolific offenses. They were really, really good. But this is just for apparently associate head coach. They're not going to get rid of the offensive coordinator. I think it's Jim Grimes is the OC or Jeff Grimes, one of the two. And I don't think they're getting rid of him. So Koltanecki's just gonna be another mind there. But I think it's a great hire to bring him back. He had success everywhere he's been with Lance Leipold. Now with someone else like James Franklin, it didn't work out. But with Lance Leipold, Koltanecki's had great success. And I was going to talk to our good friend, of course, Lincoln Cure about this, but there was news yesterday that his position coach, Brian LePack, who was a tight ends coach and I think helped recruit him to Kansas State, he's going to remain on the staff at Kansas State as well. That was news that came down yesterday for Kansas State. Okay, I wanted to touch on this, and do you know where I'm going on this? You have to. You probably.
I actually.
Okay, so
you've been shrouded in this a little bit.
So you know that. So last night, imagine I'm at the Volkmer household. I cooked up some ribs last night. On the grill, delicious, fall off the bone, amazing. And I was watching, I was eating those ribs, and I watched the very end of the Nebraska basketball game and get it done. And anyway, so I get done and I'm cleaning up and I go sit down on the couch. And I find out it's pretty much as soon as the game gets over in Nebraska, I look on Twitter just to kind of see what social media is saying about Nebraska basketball. Come to find out that Nebraska's first portal signee,
I was going to tell you that,
has decided to jump ship and go to Kentucky. Quarterback Kenny Minchie, who we talked about on the program yesterday for just a few moments, decided that, well, I'm not going to go to Nebraska. I'm going to go to Kentucky because apparently through reports, and maybe it's true, maybe it's not, Kentucky just gave him a blank check and said, come play quarterback for us. Folks, I can't stand the portal era. I can't stand it. It makes me absolutely sick. It really cannot make me sick. It makes me absolutely sick. I mean, watching Texas Tech and Indiana go out there and go after the first 5 guys that they want and they just get them. They're just signed right there. Makes me sick. It makes me sick being a Nebraska fan because I'm like, these programs, credit to them, are very good now. They weren't very good that long ago. And all of a sudden they're getting anybody they want in the portal. And Nebraska goes out and gets a guy that they really want. And yet he leaves to go to another program just like that. Bam. It's so sick. I hate this part of college football. Absolutely hate it.
Yeah, it's the reality of it now, and it sucks, but it's, I guess, at least for me, I'm just trying to accept it, and it's easier for me to say that as an Ohio State guy.
It is a little
when we have the money, but I don't know. Maybe Nebraska.
Nebraska has money. That's the thing. Like, they have money. Now, I don't know if they have Ohio. I don't know what Ohio State has for money. I have no clue. I don't even know what Nebraska has for money. But Matt Rule has said before that we have the money to get anybody we want. Okay. Now, I don't think Nebraska, but I also think Nebraska thinks we're not going to go out there. We're not going to spend $3 million or $5 million on a quarterback, because then you have no other money to spend on anybody else.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to be good stewards about that. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. But it makes me sick. I miss the days. Like, I miss the days of recruiting a roster, building that roster, keeping that roster around, no matter what you said or did to the kid. Well, that sounds terrible, but no matter what happened, during practice, if you got a butt chewing or something like that, you couldn't just get up and leave because you weren't happy. You had to hang out, unless you could transfer, but you had to sit out a year.
Yeah.
I miss the old rules. I miss seeing guys develop over the course of a 4 or 5 year span and then playing.
I've got a proposal.
Okay.
I've seen this brought up in other places, given the stuff going on in men's basketball, but it can be applied to college football as well. I think these days you should get one free transfer where you don't have to sit out a year, but if you want to transfer again, you got to sit out a year. I feel like if the NCAA could implement that, like kind of a mix of the current day and the old day, I feel like that would be ideal for transfers, so guys aren't just flipping everywhere and you don't get guys going to like 4 schools.
There is a guy that Nebraska is looking at. I've been reading from UCLA. If he were his next school that he goes to, remember who it is, will be his 5th.
Is it a quarterback?
No, he's a defensive lineman.
Okay, I was going to say
5 schools in 5 years.
Yeah, that's crazy. Just at that point, just like I'm a proponent of guys going and getting what they want, but if you're on school 5, I think you might be the problem a little bit. There might be something going on in your own world where you should probably just sit with a program and try to just let yourself develop at least a little bit there. Like, come on, make a home.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so sickening. It really does make me sick to watch it, Connor. It really does. I miss the days of seeing a guy come in. He was maybe a recruit, and he worked his way through, and then became a really good player. And you built teams like that. And now you really can't do it that much anymore. It's too much relying on the portal. If a guy gets doesn't get enough playing time, or doesn't like the way something handled with a coach, he just leaves.
Yeah.
By the way, I would be fine with your proposal. There's a lot of college coaches that think that's the way to go. So, okay, so you got dealt or sold a bag of beans on your recruiting visit. You went there, you didn't like it. It's not like they said they were going to be. So you can transfer 1 for a year. Fine. Yeah. After that, you're stuck unless you're going to sit out for 2 years. You're going to sit out a year, and then go.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
And I have one more thought about Minchie. Nebraska's a better situation than Kentucky. Obviously, this has to be money driven, but Kentucky is horrible. They might be the worst team in the SEC, and it's going to be tough for them to really move up in that conference. Well, Nebraska is at least kind of been hanging around in the middle of the Big Ten for a few years now, and there's probably upward mobility available, but I don't know. He must have gotten a bag thrown at him by Kentucky. I mean, that's all I got.
I hate, and once again, it doesn't have to be this is just an example at Nebraska, but it's happening at other programs, and it just makes me sick. I hate it. I hate it for college athletics. I hate it. And I'm hoping that this is just an era. We talk about the steroid era. I hope we have the portal era. And I hope someday we get this under control, because it's awful. Absolutely hate it. Anyway, we got to get the walk-off.
High drive, deep left, grand slam! And back lifts his ball deep to right. How about a walk-off Brady? Thomas to the 10. Denver's going on to New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. Mahomes flings it. It's there. Hardman. Jackpot. Kansas City.
Thank you to listener Brian. Brian says that if Nebraska, he says Nebraska basketball is going to be ranked 6th or 7th now. And he goes, if they ever reach number 1, I'll buy you a hot dog at a basketball game. Deal, Brian. I don't think that's going to happen. Michigan is going to be ranked number 1 for as long as I can remember. There's no way they're going to get surpassed.
Yeah, they're aren't they also undefeated?
Yes, undefeated.
Yeah.
I think there's still 5. I think there's still 6 teams undefeated. Nebraska, Vanderbilt, Miami of Ohio, Michigan, Arizona. I'm missing
Is
the other one.
Duke undefeated, I think?
Maybe Duke's the other team.
No, Duke has one loss. I'm looking at it right now.
I'm not for sure, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I mean, Anyway, anything for the walk-off?
There's more good college basketball on tonight. Aside from the Kansas game, Duke and Louisville are playing. Georgia and Florida, good matchup. That's a lot of fun. I mean, now that conference play has started, now we get a lot of good stuff in the power conferences. UCF and Oklahoma State's interesting. Iowa, Minnesota. Minnesota's got some dudes, man. I was watching their game with Northwestern on Saturday for a little bit. They've got a point guard, Langston something. I can't remember his last name, but he can pass the rock. So, yeah.
That's all right. Okay, well, that'll do it for us. Don't forget to catch Connor Schuh tonight. He'll have coverage of Colby Hoxie basketball and 100 points to the ride. Yours truly will have Goodland down at Holcomb right here on Goodland's Rocket 102.5. We're back tomorrow in 23 hours. Hope to talk to you then. Have a good one. It's been the Blitz.